not going to do that. I was not at all. So, hello, Mark.
Hello.
What the hell? There we go.
Doot, 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 doot.
Now I can see the Zoom and I can see the comments. Not that anybody's watching right now because I've been shit this week and not been able to promote anything. But anyway, hi, Mark. How are you?
You know, living the dream.
Nightmares are dreams too, my friend. You,
I'm fine. I survived the hurricane,
you
and
did.
then we went up to Orlando on Saturday, and then it took us 3 hours to get back today. So that
Wow.
was, yeah, the traffic was crazy. I don't know if people were leaving for the hurricane and coming back or
Nope.
what. So,
Rebecca, which one is that?
I'm sorry. This is Diablo.
Diablo. That is
But if
not the shapeshifter, just in case you
oh
need to
no, stop that. If I let him go, he'll scratch the chair for attention.
know. No worries. So, Mark, who do we have with us today?
I have no idea, Jim.
No, never
Uh,
talked to
we
her.
we have the awesome Rebecca coming back. Super talented. Makes us feel just like even more losers than we already are, right, Jim?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do here. We make
It's like,
ourselves feel terrible to lift others up, right?
yeah, it's like self-flagellation.
Exactly. But in
So hi,
reverse, by the
Rebecca.
way.
Hi. You also have Diablo, but
We also have Diablo,
for a
but
limited time because I'm gonna make him leave eventually.
so Rebecca, why don't you give out your social media handles so everybody knows where to follow you?
Yes. So you can find me on everything, basically. Rebecca Attack 16, 1A, or your resident spooky girl. So
Is
I'm
is that on
on,
OnlyFans too?
oh
You did
gosh.
everything.
I did say
You
everything.
did.
I'm not sure anybody really wants to buy my feet pics, so we
Hey,
don't
I
have
mean,
OnlyFans yet.
I do know some people that are interested in feet pics. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Well,
like,
Jim does look a little bit like Quentin Tarantino.
A little bit. A little bit. I've heard that before.
is it really like a lucrative business? Because I've hear you have to have like actual relationships with them. You can't just sell off your feet pics. They want to actually chat with you, and that's where I draw the line, chatting with people.
I
Jim,
mean,
how was your experience being on it?
mm, I think I feel like I've told this story before. Not like that. Um, I used the money to buy myself a car.
What?
Oh
What are you
my.
talking about?
It was a beater, but you know.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
ask
no.
what kind of car because I really want a Bronco, but I feel like
I mean,
I'm not
if
gonna get
that was
enough
a
for a
non-Bronco,
Bronco.
you could do it on the money that I made. You wouldn't get a new Bronco. 79, with a missing muffler, stick
There you
shift.
go.
Yeah, perfect. It's great for driving around the backwoods of Canada.
Okay,
Oh,
so please,
absolutely.
so sorry, Jim. Can you please explain this experience again? I
No.
don't think we've ever talked about it. You say
Hmm.
that we have, but I don't think we
We
have.
absolutely have. And I know Rebecca's heard this story before because I've talked about it on my TikTok lives. Um, I I met someone in South Florida that liked my feet. So he would pay me to come over after working in the warehouse all day, wearing my work boots, and allow him to do things to my feet.
What sort of things?
I'm not getting dirty.
Well, apparently you were.
Not with you.
Oh, God, no.
Anyway, so Rebecca, what have you been up to since last time we talked to you?
Oh gosh, I mean, so many things. I feel like it was May last time we
Sounds
chatted.
sounds about
That
right.
sounds about, yeah, I don't even think I had a nose ring then. Oh my gosh, I have
You
a
did not.
totally different personality.
I mean, you have
Who
a
are
Um,
you?
tattoo now too.
I have a tattoo. I got a nose ring. I have
Well,
new glasses.
you're almost like not even the same person.
I know, totally
You know
different.
what else you have?
Hmm,
You have an almost hit show on your hand once production starts wrapping.
Ooh.
exactly. Yeah, so we started principal photography for Upstaged in June, and we wrapped at the end of August. So right now they're in post-production stuff,
Good.
the editing portion, music, all that fun stuff. possibly ADR, things like that. I don't know. I haven't been called back yet.
What does ADR mean?
So basically, like, audio stuff,
Your voice. Mhm.
voiceover, things like that.
Gotcha.
In case stuff is the audio isn't great or they need something else. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. That's going to be my longest project I've ever worked on, because
Wow.
that was almost 3 months of my life. It's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
awesome. So what can you share with us about Upstaged?
Right.
Okay. Well, Upstage is an 8-episode mockumentary style TV show about a struggling theater company who puts on an unauthorized sequel to the play Equus. Are you familiar with Equus?
I am.
Okay. So it's an unauthorized sequel called Touquous, about a toucan. Instead of horses, it's birds.
I was going to say
Um,
Equus.
they
Is it
naked
is it
still?
about is it about horses? Like Equus.
Equus is
Never heard of
about horses, yeah.
Yeah.
Touquous is about, toucan and birds. There was no nudity in the show, though there are some scenes with not a lot. I mean, there's clothing. There's not full nudity, but an intimacy coordinator had to be on set for some scenes.
Jim, did you have an intimacy coordinator
Did
for
they
your
did
foot
they
thing?
did they involve intimacy coordination with birds?
There were no actual birds
Oh, my
in the
mistake.
show. Yeah, no
Okay.
actual birds, just humans dressed as birds.
So no birds were fondled in the making of this
So
series.
so rather than
Exactly.
like furries, they're what, featheries?
Featheries? I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
I don't know. That doesn't sound good to me. I don't like.
Featheries?
Yeah, I don't like that.
featheries.
No, I like birdies better.
Birdies?
Birdies is better. Yeah,
I feel like
birdies.
that's like an actual word though, right? Like
It is, but I mean, it's okay. It's a
it's
musical
fine.
too, right?
You're allowed to have your wrong opinion, Jim.
I
It's
Yeah,
fine.
am. I am. I'm
thank
allowed to
you,
be wrong
thank
once in a
you.
while. What else have you been working on? Can we talk about the picture or no?
Um, I got a couple things. So, I was going to be in a short film, but then the filmmakers decided to make it into a feature-length film. So that's been pretty cool. I can't really talk much about it. I had to sign an NDA to read the script.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, I can't really talk much about it. The teaser for the short film exists in the world. So like the teaser for that, it's called Avery. And there's like it's definitely like killer child vibe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I really can't go more in depth, except that we plan to start film like principal photography in the spring.
Nice.
And I have a pretty substantial role, and there's
Hmm.
quite a few people who are actually well known in the horror indie industry who are signed on to act in it.
Nice.
So I will be acting with people who you actually may know their names, because I swear, no, I've said this before. I'm like, nobody goes, "Ah, Rebecca Mickle, I saw her in Haunted Hospitals." Like, nobody does that. But some of these people, you'd be like, "Oh, I saw them in
Right.
XYZ." So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah,
Nice.
I can't talk about really anything. I had to sign an NDA, which was kind of crazy,
I
but
bet.
it was cool because it was like, oh my gosh, what am I
It's so
doing? Like,
important now, right?
So important now.
exactly.
So
Look
when you
at
said
me.
Avery, I'm like, is it about birds again?
Yeah, that would be
Not aviary.
aviary.
I
Right.
know.
That's going to be my whole niche. I'm only going to act
Yes.
in bird related film for the rest of my life. Like
So
the remake of The Birds that's going to come out eventually, that's going to be me.
yeah,
That's
you're
going to
gonna
be
be
my
Tippi
niche.
Hedren. Yeah. So
Birdemic 3.
you told us about a dream that you had when we last talked, and I wanted to know if you fulfilled it yet.
What was that
You
dream?
wanted to play marine biologist or act in a very crazy shark movie.
So, haven't fulfilled it yet. There is a script floating around that my filmmaker friends have written, and they want to film it, but they would want to fly to Saskatchewan to film it. And so I said, I was like, I'll fly to Saskatchewan, but you just gotta pay my plane ticket to get there.
Right.
But I don't want to give too much away, but it's very much like a vibe like House Shark or like that sort of vibe.
Nice.
Ouija shark,
I love
um
Shark versus Terrogator.
sharks where they're not supposed to be
Right.
and doesn't make sense. Like that's sharks terrorizing land. Like that's
Like Doll
that's
Shark.
the vibe. Yes,
I know
that
you
is the
love that
vibe.
one. I know you loved that one.
Chef's
Chef's
kiss.
Kiss.
You know, I watched during Shark Week, I watched a whole string of those shark movies. And I actually had to take a break. As much as I love shark movies, I had to take a break after, oh gosh, I rewatched Raiders of the Lost Shark. And I was like, I just can't anymore. I need to actually watch something that is good because my brain was melting from watching all of these shark movies. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still this place in my heart for Raiders of the Lost Shark because, filmed in Ontario. It felt like a bunch of theater kids got together and they're like, hey guys, let's make this really bad movie. And one of them was like, I can do CGI badly, but I can do it. And they were like, yes. Yeah. Like that's how I feel about Raiders of the Lost Shark.
Nice.
I kind of feel like a lot of those start with a title, right? What rhymes with
Yes.
shark that we can make a title about, and then just they build it
Well,
around it.
it's not Raiders.
What?
Raiders of the Lost Shark blows your theory right out of the water.
I mean,
Why?
like,
What? Hang on, Jim, explain yourself.
Like Sharks of the Corn? That doesn't rhyme.
No, but Raiders of the Last Shark
That
is a
doesn't
play.
rhyme.
No, it's a play on.
like a cool title.
Yeah, that's
I
different, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I watched Sharksploitation.
Mhm.
Yep.
And one of the cool things, and I think it was in Sharksploitation, one of the things I talked about was how the Sci-Fi Channel basically started writing scripts based on jumbled titles of random stuff. And they're like, you know what? Let's take this, like they had like word salad, and they're like, let's take this one, this one, this one, and now write a script based on this weird title. It's the titles came first, and then the scripts came later.
Right.
Trailer Park Shark.
That rhymes, Jim.
Does
Mhm.
rhyme.
It does.
One of the movies that I can tell that they tried so hard with, this is one of the ones I watched during Shark Week. It was Blind Waters. It was a Tubi original.
Oh,
And I was like, man, they tried so hard. And that made it worse because I knew it wasn't a joke.
right.
But the concept for it was like she hit her head. They're in the water. They get in a boat accident. She hits her head, and then all of a sudden she's blind. And she has to like navigate blind with a shark. So it's like this added awful thing that's happened. And also there's a murderer. Don't know. But
Is it the shark?
I mean, like, yes, but also there's a human one as well. Like they basically were like, let's just take every bad thing that could possibly happen, smoosh it into one movie, and then also have mediocre CGI for the shark.
So I'm getting like Dead Calm and Hush with a shark. Is that about right?
I mean, kinda, yeah. Yep. It was, yeah, they tried so hard. They tried so hard. But sometimes I think with those, especially with the shark movies, when they have to be so bad they're good.
Right.
They can't just be you tried really hard and it was bad because then you're like, ooh, awkward. But when they're so bad they're good, that's when they get that cult status.
Right.
See, I don't
Yeah.
think you can fake it.
Sorry?
Like, I don't think you can fake having like. So to me, the real so bad they're good are those ones where they're genuinely trying to make a great movie, and they just suck at it. Rather than those other ones like Sharknado and whatever, they're just done tongue in cheek, right? But those ones like Troll 2 or Miami, what's it called? Jim, Miami.
Miami
What's that?
what?
Oh,
Is it like four-headed Miami, like some Miami, something like that?
I know
no, it's what's it called? Okay, you
wasn't
can
there a
talk a
five-headed
little.
atomic shark attack or something?
Miami Connection. If you've ever seen that, is
No.
fantastic. It's not a horror movie, but it's horrific.
We were talking about shark movies. Well, how did that come up?
Because
What?
it's so they worked really hard, but it was so bad it's good.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't following the train. I apologize. I've had a really rough week, so cut me a little slack, Mark.
No.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So what else you got coming up, Rebecca, that you can talk about?
I am in the works to start my Indiegogo for a film that I wrote.
Ooh.
So, I, yeah, I'm working on making the teaser trailer for it first, because you want to have some sort of proof of concept
Right.
to be like, look, I can make a thing, I swear. So, but then I have to do an Indiegogo because it requires so much gore and body parts that I need money. Like
Right.
it's not even like you can pretend. I sat down with a special effects artist that I know, and I was like, I gave him two scripts that I wrote, and I said, price these out. And he's like, okay, well, this one is more reasonable. He's like, but this one that like this is not the one that we're doing right now. But he's like, this one right here is $20,000 in special effects, Rebecca. What do you, I was like, it's like for like a 10-minute movie, like $20,000. He's like, why do you want torsos so badly?
So, so
I
that
want torsos.
that's like a great idea for a movie, right? A director wants to make a movie, but the special effects are too
Too
expensive,
expensive.
so goes around killing people and using their
There
actual
you
body part.
go. There you
I
go.
like that.
That
I
works.
like
What would that be called? Arm and a leg. I don't.
arm and a leg. It'll cost an arm and a leg,
Yes.
But
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
but the one that I'm gonna work on first is still a budget, but a more reasonable budget. Because I figure if I can make that one, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we made the thing and it was so good, then I can be like, but now look at this other thing that costs a bucket of money. Like,
Right.
so that's kind of the thought process there. But it should be really cool. I sent the script to a director of photography, because I am going to be in it. Because, Bruce Campbell said, if you want to, if you want to act, produce, you want to produce, right. So I was like, yes, Bruce Campbell, our king,
Right.
knower of all things.
Hail to the king.
So that's where that's going. So I have people already, I have the entire crew and cast is on board. Very exciting. I got to get the teaser going, and then we can do the Indiegogo, Indiegogo, because like, I don't know, I'm scared of Kickstarter. Terrified of it. All or nothing. That sounds like a no bueno.
Right.
Mhm.
But it's going to be very gory, and it goes into like the sort of art house vibe genre. So it should be a lot of fun. So I'll let everybody know when the Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, Indiegogo is ready. So then I can be like, share.
Give me money.
Well, I mean, like in the nicest way,
Right.
like
Help me help you.
You'll get your
exactly.
name. You'll get your name in the credits.
Right. There you go. How much do I
Exactly.
have to give to get a producer credit? I'm just asking.
$1 million.
That was
Jim,
good. That was good. I like that. I like
Jim,
that
you
a
bet
lot.
you better get your shoes off for that if you want to.
Yeah, right. I mean, I might make $10, in my current state. I was much younger and much more fit when I made money with my feet. I'm just saying.
Like TMI, but anyway, let's move on.
So,
Wild.
Rebecca, I tagged you in something on Facebook. Did you see it?
Uno momento, por favor.
This was 2
That's
days
it.
ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah. How
That's
far
like
away
100 years ago in social
how-
media terms.
right? How far away are you from Swift Current?
Oh, I remember that Swift Current. It was far. I think I told like it's far. Because that's in
I don't know. It's in Canada. You don't all know
it's
each
in
other?
Saskatchewan. It
How
is uh okay, it says that from Detroit is a 1 day 11. Oh, that sounds like there's a lot of layovers. But
yeah.
to fly from Detroit it says 1 day 11 hours.
Oh my God.
Let's see how far to drive. Because I looked at that and I was like, oh, that would be awesome, except somebody would definitely have to fund me to go.
You should definitely keep in touch with Devin. We're gonna have him on in October because he also does like he does micro budget stuff. Like he did Gorfers. He did three of
Right.
them. But the cool thing is that all of that money goes to the ASPCA, all of his profits. So
I
I
remember you telling me about that. It's
yeah,
awesome.
it is. But now he's doing a new trilogy of movies, and even he's even willing to do some like remote stuff where you could do your stuff over Zoom if it fits the story,
All right. Because
right?
I looked, it's a 24-hour drive.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Canada's big.
Yeah, that's like driving from Florida to Connecticut.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah, obviously. Absolutely. So, is there anything coming up that you want to talk about besides what we've already discussed?
I don't even know if am I doing things?
I know
I
one
feel
thing
like
you haven't talked about, but I don't know if you can talk about it.
I don't remember. What is it?
Margaret?
Oh yeah. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. So we for the Windsor International Film Festival, they do a 48-hour flick fest. And so you have 48 hours to write a script, film it, edit it, send it in. It's short film, no more than 5 minutes, and you sign up with a team, and then on the Friday night they send you an email with a prop that you have to have, a line that you need to say, and a character that has to be in the short film. So I teamed up. Well, I joined the team of they're called Smogtown Films. They have been doing 48-hour flick fest for years. Um they do lots of shorts, and I joined their team for that. I can't talk much about it, but the special effects were awesome in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
It was very cool. The special effects artist, his name was Nate, and he was very talented. I looked at what he did to me. I was like, wow. Like I wanted to share it, and they're like, you can't share until everything has been debuted, which is the end of October is
Oh, nice.
when the film is when they show all the short films. So I gotta wait until then. But I had him take tons of videos so that I can make a cool TikTok of everything once I
can-
can finally. You got to see a little sneak peek because it wasn't public, it was private. And I was like, look.
Right. And it was great. Like I will say for being such a rush, like a rushed process, he did a great job.
He did an amazing job.
He did.
I have never sat so long for makeup. It was hours.
Well, but you were laying, you weren't sitting, right?
Fair enough. I laid for most of it. At the very beginning, I had to lay on rolly chairs, like three of them put together.
Oh no.
But then eventually I laid on a couch
Yeah.
and then a bed. They just kept moving me and just doing more work.
It
Did they
just
put
So,
you
sounds
on a
more and
did
more
they put you on a
comfortable as
gurney
it
to
goes
move
along.
you?
pardon me.
What'd you say, Mark?
Sorry.
I said it just sounds like the process got more and more comfortable
It
at each
did.
step.
It's hard on your neck though to be laying that long with like your head to one side. That
Right.
was rough.
Yeah, I bet. But like, did they put you on a gurney? How did they move you so you didn't damage anything?
I had to like walk with like my arm like T-Rex arms, and then eventually when I got to my final place and they finished the makeup, I could not move at all.
Oh,
So yeah, that
how
was
long?
hard.
How long?
That would be the
position?
point where I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom like now.
You know, I peed right before I was in my final spot because I was like, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to be here for a
Right.
couple hours. I think it was 4,
Wow.
maybe. I was in that last spot. When I finally stood up, I staggered, and then
no.
I landed in the door frame, and I got fake blood all over the door frame. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just like, "Ah." I
That's
already have issues if I stand up too fast. I'm like, oh, why are there black spots in my eyes?
right.
And this was like laying like down slightly like head like gravity. Gravity had
Right.
part of my face. And so I stood up and I was like, whew, everything is spinning.
It is. That sounds like quite an experience.
It was wild, but it was a lot of fun. It was just cool, and to work with people that I hadn't worked with before. I
Right.
knew 2 of the people that are part of that film crew, so I got to meet a ton of new people, and everybody was really
Nice.
nice. And I got to try my hand at being a grip, which was cool.
That's lighting. We know this, don't we,
Yes.
Mark?
Jim knows all the technicalities of behind the scenes
We do.
production.
Well, no. But we are very familiar with grips because one of our past
Yes.
guests, Erica Summers, was a grip on a lot of TV shows.
It was cool. I did like a lot of it was like definitely like a gopher, where I was running around and carrying big really heavy stuff. But it was really fun to learn about the lighting and just help out with that. That was a cool
Yeah.
experience because as an actor, so much of what you do is a lot of your time is spent in hair and makeup, and then in solitude learning your lines or doing scene work with other actors. So to have an opportunity to work on the other side of film was really cool. And in the credits, they also credited me as Grip. So I was like, yay,
Nice.
this
That's
is
awesome.
cool.
So there was one other project we talked about that you may or may not be working on about competitive sports.
Oh yeah. So I am pitching this idea. I formed a team to do a documentary on Highland Games, and I have a grant that's due October 9th. So that I'm like, oh, I gotta finish working on that. But it I contacted somebody to be the host who would be really cool to be the host. They're not officially signed on. They're interested, but they have to talk to their agent. So I haven't been able to really say anything, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because number one, having somebody on the team who is very well known lends credibility to what you're making when you're asking for funding. And this would be a big like a heavy budget because lots of travel involved and in a lot of editing because it's a documentary. You can have an outline of what you want to talk about, but you have no idea what people are going to say. So much of that is in post, just kind of editing everything together. So it's going to take a while to formulate a a cohesive a cohesive film with
Right.
what we get.
That's fair.
So
That's fair. I'm very excited. It sounds like you have a lot of fires getting stoked right now. That's great.
yeah, I'm also rehearsing a play right now. So, doing all the things.
Everybody say
Jim
hi to
already.
Alistair. He
Jim,
just jumped in the live.
sorry, Jim. What's your plans? What are your projects coming up?
I have school starting in 3 days.
Oh, that's
Let's
good.
go.
Yeah. Bachelor's to master's in IT administration.
Maybe you'll figure out how to use Zoom.
Maybe. I doubt it though. There's no class specifically on Zoom preference.
Um,
But we could try that. We could try that.
but yeah,
Um,
Rebecca, it sounds like you're going to be super, super busy.
yeah,
So
that's pretty awesome.
yeah,
Good
that's great.
busy. Good busy though. I always say that if I'm not acting or performing, that I'm just withering away and dying. So I have to do it. I have to.
Yep.
It's what brings me true joy.
Yep.
So
And
I
that's
That
gotta do
and
it.
that and being on this podcast, those two
Oh, that's why I'm
things.
back. That's why I'm
right.
back a
Yeah,
second time.
hello.
true pure joy being on that one episode in May. So then
Wait.
I had too many White Claws one night and I was like, Jim, you never have me on. Why are you having me on? He's like, I can put you on. I was like, and so he put me on.
I did. But I mean, I'm trying to remember, was Mark not here? Is that why you had such a good time?
Mark was here, but then there was a
Oh.
power outage situation.
Oh, that's right, because it's Florida. Right. Hmm.
Yeah. That
We lose
was a
power when the
portent
wind
of
blows.
things to come, right?
You know, it doesn't sound too different from my area. The grid is very old here, so anytime anything happens, it's like, oh, all the power has gone out. And especially being all the way out here in the boonies, when the power goes out, like it's dark. And
I
the
remember
coyotes start going.
I
Uh-oh.
remember the what is it? Fish flies?
Oh yeah, fish flies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the fish flies, and I remember Veronica freaking out when it was getting dark as you were walking in the
Right.
boonies.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the day that she figured out where I lived. Because she
Uh-huh.
was like, I know that location. Then we figured out that we were from the same area.
Yes.
But it yeah, especially out here, you got all the coyotes, and then people drive like maniacs on these county roads because you can go 80 kilometers an hour, so they go 100.
Right.
So yeah. Which is actually not that fast considering how fast you can go in the US. It's wild. I'm like, I'll drive what I think is like highway speed, and then I realize I can go so much faster.
How
Wow.
does 75 compare to kilometers?
So I don't, that's what Google's for.
Right? I know. I'm trying to think, and math is not strong with me no matter what.
So, what, like
Oh
80
God,
kilometers
Mark.
is probably like 50 miles an hour? 80,
So
50?
75 miles is 120 kilometers.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that is quite a difference then.
Yeah, so most of our like expressways are 100.
Right.
County roads will not go higher than 80 because it's not an
Oh,
expressway. The
right.
401, there's a part that's 110.
Ooh.
I know.
It's almost like the Autobahn there, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's the Wild West.
Now I know where to bring my Ferrari to.
Right. Hey,
So
KL, how's
fast.
your back? I know you were having some trouble. KL was saying the highest MPH he's seen in Texas was 80 as a limit. I mean, we drive
So
on
fast.
95 and people think that's the speed limit. Instead, it's just the name of the interstate.
That's hilarious. Does that mean that if you're on I-75, that people think it's 75 miles an
175?
hour?
No, it's still 95 here in
175.
Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-75 means 175.
there you go. Yeah. It's not
Easy.
I, it's a 1. It's a Roman
Yeah.
numeral. Yeah.
We call it I-75.
Yeah, but it's a Roman numeral. It's not it's not a letter.
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
never heard anybody say, "Oh yeah, just jump on the 175."
Sorry,
Never.
Austin.
That's because you're not in Merca. Hey, I do have a bone to pick with you though. You
What'd I
posted
do?
a picture on Facebook of a drink, like looked like an iced coffee or something.
A Big B.
Right. So you went to Michigan for that, right?
Yes. Yes.
But you said it was north of the border.
Yeah, because Windsor is south of Detroit.
Really? How does that?
Mhm. Because where I am is so far south.
Right? You're almost in
Like-
Florida,
Basically.
right?
But no, it's yeah. So this area actually has the southernmost point in Canada. Like Point Pelee is as south as you can go, and of land. And then there's Pelee Island, which is like this. Oh my gosh, this is so south. And like so, Pelee Island is close enough to the U.S. that you can get a ferry from Ohio.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's just right there. But yeah, so that's the joke is that Windsor is South Detroit. That so when you're listening to just a small town girl, that one, that the South Detroit line that they're actually talking about Windsor. That's the joke.
Ah, got it. I did not know that.
Yeah.
See, you learn something new every day, Mark.
Welcome to the Geography and Shit podcast.
So we
we
did have a topic to talk about, Rebecca, because I know you're a huge fan of When Animals Attack, which is what we talked
Mhm.
about the last time you were on. So
Yes.
today I thought maybe we discuss some of our favorite creature features.
I have those. I do.
I bet you do. One of my favorites I'm actually reading right now is The Willows by K.L. Allister, not to drop names.
oh
I
you
need to
call
read more.
you called him a jerk earlier, didn't you? Before we
KL?
started
No,
recording?
I'd
Yeah,
never
yeah,
call
yeah.
KL a
Yeah, yeah,
jerk.
before we started recording. Yeah, yeah.
But I will prove my point. See, it's right here. It's right here, KL. It's right here.
I need to read more.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
currently, side note, I'm currently reading Hidden Pictures.
so here's the thing about that, right? Before I packed, I had that on my um
TBR.
no, on my shelf to be read. Somebody book faired it to me off TikTok.
Aw.
And then somebody else told me that it was incredibly problematic. Like
Oh.
there was tons of misogyny and only one person ever. Everybody else loves it, right? But one person was telling me about how it was totally anti-LGBTQ and it was misogynistic and there was casual racism. And
I'm only a chapter in.
I don't know if I want to read this
But
now.
but is that maybe just a character in it, and that's who the
Again,
character is?
I can't speak to any of it because I haven't read it yet. The last thing I read, and anyway, we'll get to that when we do the what I've watched or listened to. But anyway, let's talk about some creature features.
The Thing.
Well,
Alien, not well. Like,
that's
are
so
we
basic,
including?
It's
Are
Rebecca.
we?
It's
Are we?
so basic.
Hang on. The Thing?
Yeah,
That's amazing. But
Yes,
are
I
we?
know,
fine.
but it's a basic answer. I want
No,
something
no,
more.
no, 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 no. But hang on. Are we including aliens with this?
I mean, we could.
Hypothetically.
You know,
They
we're
are
very
technically
strict on
creatures,
this
right?
podcast.
What?
We're very strict on this podcast.
I know we were strict with When Animals Attack. We were
You
very
are.
strict with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean,
but humans are creatures too.
So are all creature features are just any living thing.
Correct.
IMDb has a list of creature features, and we got Alien versus Predator, Aliens,
yeah.
Alien versus Predator, Requiem,
God
Predator, Predator 2. Why is there's nothing else on this list?
damn.
There's other things, but just all the beginning. Alien Resurrection. We got Leviathan. We got some
So
other stuff in there.
we're gonna
Piranha.
start with 1954. Let's
Are
talk
we?
about the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Classic.
Mark?
Yeah, and the guy that played the creature who's
Yes.
with a spooky empire.
Yes.
Is it Will something? Brown? No, not Will Browning.
Aren't they bringing his body back for a viewing this year? Sort of like
But-
Princess Di, you know, it just
Yeah.
travels around the country.
But he was like Rebecca. He was in his probably mid-90s, as you know, maybe, and he was always there. Like, I never met him. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I'm
Right.
like, that's amazing. You're like 95 and you're in this classic 50. Was it 50s? 50.
No, 64, 54, yes, 54.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. Just
Yeah,
blows
it
my
is. It's great though, isn't it? I mean, because we've had Godzilla there before, and he was no spring chicken. The original Godzilla in the suit.
The first one from the first Godzilla?
I think he was in the first one, wasn't
No.
he? Which one was he in? Then I must be mistaken.
So,
I only got to meet him once.
they've had multiple suit actors from different Godzilla eras. Like,
Fair
just
enough,
go
but we're done talking about that. So, hold on, let me look at my list 1 second because I'm trying to go in somewhat of a chronological order, but we're gonna jump from 1954 to 1979.
Well, so you're missing the 1960s, which is probably the decade.
Mark, I don't need you to pick apart my list. Let's just
I'm just saying the 60s,
the
right?
shapeshifter has appeared.
She
That
has.
that is the shapeshifter, correct?
Yes, look at her face. This is
Good.
the face of a shapeshifter.
That is
and
the
it-
face of a shapeshifter.
A creature.
A creature.
A creature.
creature.
Okay, love you. Goodbye.
Absolutely. So what am I talking about, Mark, from 1979?
1979.
Yes.
So post Jaws, it's not Alien related, right?
I don't
Like
know.
it's
You
not
tell me.
Alien.
It
It's
is
a,
actually. Yes.
oh, it is.
Yes.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Was that 79?
It's Alien.
Oh,
I
I
thought
thought
I got that when you said, "Is it
I
alien related?"
I
I
thought that
meant
was
alien.
I thought that
Like
was too
it's
obvious.
literally,
It's literally alien related.
literally.
So everybody already knows this is one of my favorite sci-fi movies ever. Like it is a slasher movie in space, and it's absolutely fantastic. There's not another movie that I've seen that can make claustrophobia a character in a film. But you get so the feeling of the walls closing in on you through this entire movie is so well done. Even on the small budget that they had, it was fantastic. I still think it's a masterpiece.
A woman and her cat. That's all I need.
However, she was not originally scripted to be a woman.
I knew that.
Or a
It was a
man.
good choice.
Right. Right. It was
It
just
was
a character.
genderless.
They didn't write a specific gender for it. But then after Sigourney Weaver's screen test, which you can see in the special features, like it's pretty amazing. Like they went all out for the screen test with the fog and all kinds of stuff. It was great. Mark, what do you want to talk about? You want to go
Okay,
back to
so
the 60s?
well, so I'm just saying, like the evolution of the creature feature. The
Oh
'60s
yeah.
was the big quote unquote atomic explosion of massive, you know, like ants and you know
Spiders.
scorpions and crabs and whatever the SFX department could come up with.
Right.
We'll just do a big version of that. So I think and that was the drive-ins and all that time. So I think that
Right.
really helped move it along. Although it was generally not. I mean, it was horror, but it was very much science fiction because it was usually radiation or some sciencey
Mhm.
thing which they came up
Right.
with. So, I mean, Them is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that really sets a lot of the posts for, hey, what a creature feature should be. Do you like Them, Jim?
I honestly don't think I've seen them.
Rebecca?
It's on my list. I haven't seen it yet though.
Okay, it's a classic. But whenever we talk about creature features, it's almost like if we're just talking about like terrestrial creatures, um,
Oh no,
it's
we're going intergalactic if we
no,
have
no,
to.
no, no. I'm just saying, like, if we just look at that, it's almost like it's either a very big one or two of whatever creature, or a lot of the small ones.
Right.
It's true.
Um, so a movie which I probably talked about before, which I absolutely love, and a lot of people haven't seen it, is called Phase Four.
I have not, but I've heard you talk about it.
Yeah, it's basically ants are given more sentience, and there's a scientific thing set up to like kind of figure out what's going on, but
Right.
the ants are like outsmarting them. It's really, really good.
So Mark, question for you
Yes.
since you are the trivia guru.
Yep.
What would be considered the first creature feature ever made?
Gollum?
What year was that made?
Gollum was 19 early. It was a
19 early.
it was very early. So, but I don't know if that is considered a creature feature.
I don't know because every list. So I did look up some of this stuff as I had time today. And everything goes to either King Kong from 33 or Frankenstein from 31.
So
But I knew you would have probably some more archaic knowledge than most
so
folks.
yeah, the Gollum movies from
Mhm.
1915.
Okay.
And the golem is obviously like the Jewish
Yeah. The
creature
Well,
made
I
of
mean,
clay.
does that really count as a creature though if it's made of
Well, that's
clay?
what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's made of clay, so it's not normal.
Well, but I mean, would it count as a creature or a statue at that point?
Well, no, it moves around. It's not a statue.
Living statue.
Right, a living statue. Those
Is a
exist.
living
I've seen them
statue a creature? So is a living statue a creature?
I don't
Let's.
know. That's the question, right?
I mean, I'm not going to be able to get to sleep tonight unless we resolve this.
Well, I think it's hard. Like you look at these lists of what are considered creature features, and you'll still see things like Jaws and Piranha, and then, but that we talked about, that is when animals attack, and it feels like creature features are organic beings that don't that something has happened to them. They are either bigger or
So the
things like
Piranha,
that.
then the Piranha remake would qualify because those were genetically engineered.
I would think maybe.
Yeah. So the original Piranha, no, but the
Well,
remake,
what do you mean the original Piranha? The original Piranha, they were totally an experiment.
were they?
Yes.
But I haven't seen that in years.
Oh, it's fantastic. And Joe
No,
Dante
I
is
don't disagree.
stellar.
I did love it, but I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah. They were engineered to be let loose in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Mark. You and I have talked about this movie because we're jumping around now, from 1997,
Mm-hmm.
and we both agree that it's a little. Well, you don't agree. It's still a good movie, right? It's a good movie, but we both love the book,
Yeah, the relic.
right?
Mm-hmm.
See, Rebecca, my problem with The Relic is that the movie writes out the main character of the book completely and turns a side piece into the main character.
That's hard. It's hard when they ruin a book you really enjoy.
But that's the
Well-
thing. I saw the movie originally and I loved it. And I didn't read the book until about 10 years ago. So, did they really ruin it then?
So,
'Cause the
but
movie's still good.
here's the thing to me, right? So the Pendergast character, who's in 20 plus books, right? If anybody starts to make movies, what are you doing? Making like a
Denise
series,
just snuck in here with some snacks for me.
making like a series of movies, at least, that will be the first time a lot of people will have seen that character. So maybe they can do it maybe in a better way.
Sorry.
Rebecca, have you seen The Relic?
I haven't, but you guys, you suggested it last time, and I still haven't watched it because I am a little gremlin thing that is bad at watching things.
Well,
If you don't watch it, you're never coming back.
No. Hang on.
That's not a threat.
No. Wait. I've got a better idea. Rebecca, sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. If you just cancel some of those upcoming projects, you'll have
Right.
plenty of time to watch our recommendations.
That's true.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have priorities. We're going to give you homework every time.
Yeah.
And it's, do you want to complete this or do you want to have a thriving acting career?
I mean, you weigh
Yeah.
it, right? Like,
Right? Exactly.
Well, you don't. I mean, the answer is obvious.
I guess you're right,
Priorities.
Silly me.
Rebecca, he died driving a car out of a mall. You can't take his word for anything.
I will watch it. I will
Eventually.
watch it. You know what? I still say that we should pick a movie on for a Saturday and all watch it together while partaking in something.
That's what we created that channel in Discord for that Mark still
I
hasn't
know.
joined.
Oh,
We can watch The Relic.
We absolutely could.
There you go. We chose the movie. We just gotta choose a day.
I have
What
a
a-
lot of time on my hands now, so
Jim, what about The Last Shark? I'm sure you'd like to watch that again.
I would love it if I was drinking.
That's the point.
It is a fun movie no matter what, but yes, I want to get drunk if I'm going to watch it again. Is Brendan
Okay.
doing something weird over there, Rebecca?
I'm looking at Diablo. Brandon walked, and then Diablo was like, "Where's he going?" Diablo is literally sitting right on the table next, but just out of shot. Just
I would
right
tell you to
there.
greet Brendan, but he never responds to me, so we'll just let him go.
He's like this elusive, ethereal being that just kind of comes and goes. You just don't know. Like an outdoor
he
cat.
just sort of shows up in the background like this guy.
Like Bigfoot. Oh, it's
Mhm.
Bigfoot. Just like
I don't know what.
Same.
That is, do you get the joke, Rebecca?
I don't.
That is too. So I do not like Giallo films, and the one Giallo he made me watch was the New York Ripper, and he talks like Donald Duck.
Ah,
Quack, quack.
yeah.
Don't-
He's
I-
joining the podcast.
Hello, where is he?
No, I was saying he looked at Diablo and was like, Diablo, and I was like, he's joining. And then he
Oh,
started
gotcha,
going.
gotcha. Yeah, I should stop trying to insert myself into your conversation.
But you know what? He can't walk behind because this is a wall. So
Oh, is
can't
that
walk
what that
behind.
is?
Yeah,
That's a newfangled thing, right?
it's a
Yeah,
wall.
I've never heard of one of those before. We don't have those in America.
This one's special though, because this one's made out of logs.
What, what are they normally made out of?
Um,
Like
like
2x4s.
What are 2x4s made out of?
Wood. These are logs with chinking.
What are logs made out of?
Jim, Jim,
yeah.
this is a
Sorry.
log cabin.
I know, I love your log cabin. I'm just saying,
Thank you.
I love it. It's so neat. It is
Thank you.
probably one of the coolest things I've seen. So anyway, we were saying, Mark, what do you want to talk about? What's the next movie?
Okay, so this one is one which Jim does not like, because he's got this weird thing about, oh, if he doesn't like an actor, the whole film's trash.
That's why he doesn't like the changeling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. This is a surprise to me. I didn't really hear too much about it, and I ended up loving it. And it's Underwater.
Oh
With-
my God.
With
That
Kristen
is not a
Stewart.
creature feature.
Huh?
It's not a
Hi-
creature feature.
Why not? It's a
Because it's
Leviathan
Lovecraft. Well, I mean, I
style
guess it kind of,
creature.
I get okay. So I stand corrected. It probably could be considered. I
No,
just
no, no. It could. It's not.
it's
it couldn't be
Lovecraftian, and I
considered-
put that in a
it's-
category by itself.
It's. I think we talked about this last time.
We
Is
did.
Cthulhu a creature feature type?
That's what I'm saying. That's
We
just,
did talk about
we did.
this.
And this is just pedant. This is me being pedantic, and like it's Lovecraftian. So I
Oh,
put it in its
pedantic
own
Jim.
category. Yeah.
That's
I
why
do.
I drank. I feel like that was a drinking moment required, except that this is water.
Mine's
Yeah.
not.
Vodka.
Mine is not. I don't know. I always put Lovecraftian stuff in its own category. I don't consider them creature features because it's just, and I probably should, right? Because
Well,
they're
I mean,
essentially ancient creatures. They're not.
so really, if we talk about Lovecraftian, usually that's called like cosmic horror.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
So you can like put that in its own little bucket, I guess.
And that's usually what I do. I don't usually lump those in together.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about though, one creature feature that I really love, and it's about aliens. It is not alien
Is it
related.
Alien?
It's not alien related. It's about aliens.
Oh,
District 9.
so it's Alien.
It's District
I-
9.
1979.
District 9 is probably one of my favorite because it hits on so much social commentary in such an effective way.
I haven't
That's the
seen
one
it.
from South Africa, right?
Yes. It really it hits on like apartheid and concentration camps. It hits it all.
Okay.
Because essentially becoming one of these creatures is contagious.
Uh,
A human can become one.
No,
Yes?
Interesting.
that's not what happens in it.
Yes.
No, there's like an experiment or whatever. Like you just can't catch it.
No, I mean there's some sort of transmission though.
Right, but it was done on purpose. It wasn't something people could catch.
Well, that's true. You're right. It's also again another long time since I've seen that. Rebecca, you haven't picked a creature feature to talk about yet.
Eight-legged freaks.
Never seen
What that is that a shark one?
No,
it. Only if it's on the Sci-Fi Channel.
giant spiders.
Well, yeah.
Comedy,
David-
so good.
I've
David
seen big
Arquette.
ass spiders.
Hmm?
There's
What's
a movie
it?
called Big Ass Spiders.
Oh, it's the big ass spiders. Yeah, it's really, really funny.
Yeah. But
That's how
I
I feel about
picture
eight-legged freaks.
like twerking spiders. I don't picture
Oh my
big
goodness.
spiders.
The eight-legged freaks is really good, and it sits really well with like arachnophobia.
I
In
just saw
that
that this
sort of
year. I
what
just watched that for the first time this year.
arachnophobia?
Yeah, a couple months
Good
ago.
movie.
You never
Somebody
brought
gave it to me as part of Cinema Society Saturday.
There's something about big insects that I don't like. They get me. There was a scene, and this isn't even horror. It was a King Kong movie where the
all the
one with
big giant insects with Jack
yeah,
Black.
Oh.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was a very gross.
You're not
fucking
supposed to
movie.
be that big.
I don't I'm like, no, I don't like centipedes now. I understand their purpose. One time a centipede ran at me when I was like peeing, and I somehow managed to jump up onto the toilet seat in one motion and not pee all over myself. So
I was gonna say that must have been messy.
no, no, I just it's like
Wow.
Okay, is there no end to your talents?
you know what? I am a
Stop trying to
woman of
make us
many
feel bad
talents.
at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Woman of many talents. Bugs should
So,
not be big.
so do you like it whenever you hear about the stories about people that have spiders living in their ear and
No.
Oh,
yeah. Hmm.
I was listening to a radio station and they were talking about this guy who he fell asleep he fell asleep on the ground naked in Thailand maybe, or one of those like islands
Indonesia, right?
countries, like one of those, and a gigantic centipede like like latched on to
Mhm.
his private parts, and I'm just like I would die.
I,
That's why I live where the air hurts my face.
I, I kind of feel like he made that up though. He was probably doing something. Oh yeah, no, I fell asleep. I fell asleep. Oh,
why?
so
No, but I mean, it's
don't
not
you change
Florida, so why would they do that?
who? What?
Whoever this guy is with the millipede or centipede on his junk.
Why would he do it?
Yes.
Why does somebody pay to do whatever to your feet? I don't know. Some weirdos out there have a heart.
Just have a heart. I just yeah, this we have little bugs here. Little bugs because
Yeah.
Those
it's
fish
cold
flies or
here.
whatever they're called are not little.
They're little.
I've seen you
They're
eat them.
annoying. I did not eat them.
Not on purpose, but it did fly
Well,
down.
yeah. They but they don't do anything. I did try. I really wanted to. I wrote a fake trailer for a horror movie about fish flies, but when I was ready to film it, fish fly season, it's like basically one day they're there, they swarm everywhere, and then the next day they're gone.
Those
And I
love
was like,
bugs.
I missed it. I missed it.
Love bugs, Mark. We're talking about love bugs.
Right, that's annoying. So would the creation in the human centipede be called a creature?
No, no, not a creature.
Nay.
How about ticks?
Haven't seen it, but yes.
You haven't seen ticks,
No.
Rebecca?
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, you need to see ticks.
Oh, all
It's
right.
massive ticks.
I don't even like the little ones.
I know.
Nobody does because you get Lyme
It's
disease.
got Seth Green in it.
I
And
love
Jamie
Seth
Dolan's.
Green.
and the guy from The Fresh Prince, his brother, the one that does the dance.
Yeah.
He's in there as a tough
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yep. And it's directed by Tony Randall, who did Hellraiser 2. Yep, it's really good. And Clint Howard's in it too. No, Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother. And he comes out with the immortal line because they're all inside him. I'm infested, as they're all.
Ooh. No. Bugs
We should just
being
talk
too
about
big.
like bug movies since it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's like Creep
But
Show,
That'll be for
Right.
part 3.
that'll
Creep-
be next time.
Creep Show, the final Creep
Are you
Show.
talking about the one with the cockroaches coming out of the skin?
Yeah. That was
Was
good.
it Was it Creep Show that had the crate?
Yep.
No,
That's a
that was Twilight Zone.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it
no,
is.
it's not Twilight Zone.
No,
It's
no,
definitely
no, no. The
was-
crate, the
no.
crate is 100% Creep
Was it
Show.
Creep Show?
100%.
Oh, that's right. Julianne Moore and Eric. No, what's his name? James
Julianne
Spader.
Moore?
Yeah,
Julianne Moore
yeah.
in the crate.
I think so. Yeah.
No, it's got Adrienne Barbeau, Hal Holbrook, the guy that played the guy in Reanimator.
Hold on a
that
minute.
got his head cut off. Jim, have you ever seen a horror movie before?
No, never in my life.
Yeah. I think all this time we've just been typing into AI. Come up with
probably.
something.
The crate got me. I remember watching it when I was younger and being spooked by
Yep.
it.
I think there's a lot to do with the lighting
Yeah.
in that. The red light, and then just this thing comes out.
And then like being like pulled in, and you're because you don't actually really see anything. And I love that I love horror movies where you don't really quite see the whole thing. Who's stalking you, what has you. It's one of the
Right.
reasons I love Jaws so much, Black Christmas original.
Right.
Like there's when there's mystery attached to it, it makes it all the more terrifying. And so the crate got me. Creature feature. Boom.
Yeah, I'm thinking of there's another anthology series, and it may be Twilight Zone, where there's a bunch of there's 3 college students that buy this crate, and there's a mummy inside of it.
No, you're thinking about Tales from the Dark Side. with
Tales from the Dark
Christian
Side. That's what it is.
Slater.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Thank you.
You're
Julianne
welcome.
Moore's in that one.
Is she really?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen
It's
it.
her and James Spader.
Jeez.
Did either of you watch the new creature feature with Nicolas Cage, Arcadian?
I actually really enjoyed that one.
Not
I was
yet.
surprised.
I liked it, but then there was a weird wheel of monsters just
That
rolling
was
around.
so funny. Like
I
that was
was like-
totally Critters 3. It was all Critters 3, like the giant mating ball. It was
I was
hysterical.
sitting there like, what is happening?
I mean, how could you? They're like their mouths were giant, like knockers, like the
What?
little knockers you used to play with as a
Can
kid.
you stop doing that, Jim? Jesus Christ. The knockers.
The knockers.
Oh,
Jeez Louise.
I mean,
but you know, we have a nice Canadian on the podcast today, so can you please
where are
Very
they
Very
hiding?
sweet, very demure, very
Mm,
mindful.
uh-huh, sure.
Hmm.
Mhm. Whatevs. Anyway, so let's talk about Crawl, one of my favorites. I love Crawl.
Oh.
Crawl is great, but it's not as good as Alligator.
I've not seen
Alligators. Alligator's still on my list from last time.
So the two best.
I feel like she's made no progress in the homework we've given her.
No, I know. I know.
Okay,
That's
the
what-
list the list I had, it got wet. It got something spilled on it. It got wet. I can
Rebecca,
still see part of it.
you can make lists digitally, just so you know.
Or
then
you
could
it
just
won't matter.
you could just re-listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I can. You know what? You're right. Now I have ADHD, so I get dopamine from physically checking things off lists. So I write things down so I can
Whatever flips your gidget.
So Alligator and Piranha, the original one, I think are the best Jaws clones. They're
Yeah.
both written by John Sayles, who also wrote The Howling.
Who also wrote what?
The
The
Howling.
Howling.
Yep.
I need you to enunciate better there, Mark.
I need you to use your listening ears.
These are the only ones I have. The others are packed
Huh?
away.
What?
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 What? Okay.
Yes, Crawl's really good. Alexandra Aja.
Yeah.
It's stupid fun, right?
I like his visual style. Like,
Yeah.
because visually I loved the look of High Tension, even though I didn't care for the movie.
No, High Tension's a really good movie until the end.
Yeah, but like what's wrong, Rebecca?
I hate High Tension
Why?
because
Is it the tension or
it's
the high part?
I loved it, and because this is not creature feature, but I cannot get on board with being like with twists that are like it was all a dream. You know what I mean? I don't like twists like that. I think that I think for a good twist, you have to pepper Easter eggs throughout the rest of the film so that you can recall things. And there's just stuff in the twist for a high tension that makes zero sense because there's at least one scene that happens with only
The
the
Mhm.
truck driver and nobody else is there. So you're telling me that this is all just happening in her head and I'm just supposed to believe that. And I can't. I think it's lazy.
Yeah.
So here's my totally made up thoughts about high tension. Alexandre Aja, again, I think he's been on record saying that it's kind of like Intensity by Dinar Kuntz.
Not kind of like
So
it's exactly like.
yeah, well, exactly like it, but I feel like he went through the whole process and then he's like, "Oh shit, if I release this, they're probably going to sue me for copyright. Let's do something at the end to make it like different." But they didn't go back and fix the parts, like the part whenever she's in the store and hiding. I seem to remember that doesn't make sense. Like with the ending, there's something about it, but
For
like,
me, it's the truck driver scene where you're just watching him with the head, and then he throws the head out the window.
and
That
how did
makes
that? It
sorry?
makes even less sense that she's a woman with that scene.
Yeah, it's like it makes no sense. And actually, that was for me the most shocking scene in like I loved that scene. I was like, ugh. Like I didn't like it, so I loved it. And then it made no sense. I liked High Tension, and then the twist happened, and I was like, you think I'm dumb? This is stupid. That's how I felt.
Okay, how about a more recent one? And this is 2018's Annihilation.
I
Loved.
enjoy Annihilation.
It gets a little bogged down towards the end, and the end feels a little convoluted because they left out some really important plot points from the book. But I really enjoyed that movie in general.
Yeah, I didn't really get the ending the first time. I like because I'm probably stupid. But I think it was very murky as far as what they were trying to
Yeah.
say with the ending of that.
Hmm.
But like that mutated bear with that woman's voice
Oh,
was just
that's
like,
terrifying.
That
yeah,
was absolutely awful.
It's so wonderfully done and oh gosh, it was so heartbreaking. For me, that entire movie, the score is just
mm.
phenomenal. I'm a sucker for a wonderful score. Oh, that music just is uncomfortable and
It's
haunting.
yeah.
How does
Plus,
this score 67 to 32 work for you?
what?
What?
What? You said you're a sucker for a good score. I said how's 67 to 32?
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
That's like a dad joke.
I know, I know, I know.
So sorry, Rebecca. You asked to come back on, right?
I
It's your
had
own.
I had had three White Claws in without eating all at the same time. I cannot be held responsible for
Hey,
what I
Well,
said.
well, now
we are
you're paying the
now,
price.
Mark, you should feel good. We are now a drunk decision.
Well,
Really were,
We are
yeah.
the guy you hook up with after you get drunk. That's who we are, Mark.
apparently.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Thanks,
that.
Rebecca.
No, but yeah, I think Annihilation is great, beautifully shot, and lots of different mutated creatures and everything else.
Hmm.
How about Black Widow?
I don't know that one.
I haven't seen Black Widow.
It's with Scarlett Johansson in it.
He's talking about the Marvel
Oh,
movie.
I figured that out. I'm sitting here
That's
like, is there another giant spider movie I don't know about?
exactly what I thought till he said Scarlett
I,
Johansson.
I I was very disappointed that there was no actual spiders in that movie.
Were you upset with
Um,
Madam Web for that same reason?
the what?
Huh.
Madam Web?
Yeah.
There was spiders in that? What are you talking about?
I'm saying there wasn't. Were you disappointed
No,
in that?
there were spiders in that.
No, they were spider people. They weren't really
No, there
spider.
were they captured a spider. That's what started it all off. Anyways,
Nobody cares.
uh,
Anyway,
how about The Ritual?
I just watched that last night.
The Ritual. I I watched The Ritual before I read the book. The movie, I was just floored by it. I thought it was to this day I think it's one of the best Netflix original films.
Mm-hmm.
I oh the creature design in that film is amazing, and just the I just the whole thing, the being trapped in a forest. I just loved the tension in that film, and
Have
it's very different from the book.
Have you seen
It is very
the
different.
other movie by the same writer? I just watched it recently. What the hell
He's
was
talking
it?
about Adam Neville, by the way.
Well, okay, whatever.
He
What
wrote
the
the
hell
book.
was his name? Yeah. So
But you're right, because the book makes it a totally different story. And I will be honest, I had some trouble with the book.
Well,
Like,
the whole second half, instead of it being a cult, it's a black metal band,
yeah,
and they were offensive.
they were. Like the
Oh,
amount of times they dropped the F word really started to bother me.
it was a lot.
Yeah.
But I did really like the first half of the book because I've never felt more claustrophobic reading a book than
Yeah.
when I read that book, because when there's the part where he's crawling and he's so basically dead. He's exhausted, he hasn't eaten, and he's just crawling, and he can feel the creature behind him, but he can't see. And I remember just being like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. I just so and for anybody that
so
doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't read the ritual, is they use the a pejorative term for gay. That's the F word I'm referring to.
oh, okay. But they're are in the book, are they from the UK as well?
They are not from the
Yes.
United States. Oh, you mean
Right.
the characters? Yes, they are
Yeah.
from the UK, I
Okay.
believe.
It's more frequent over there. Whatever I was there. Okay, so the other movie based on one of his books, which is on Netflix,
No
No
one
One
gets
Gets
out alive.
Out Alive. Have you
I
seen it?
haven't seen it.
I've seen it. I liked it. I got
Yeah.
the book for Christmas. I haven't read it yet. I did enjoy it. I thought it was very interesting. I didn't like it as much as The
No,
Ritual though.
but the creature design was a little similar to the creature design
Was it another
in
U-10?
the Ritual. Huh?
Was it
What?
another U-10?
Yes.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No. I don't
The
care either.
creature from the ritual was a U-10, which is an offspring of Loki.
Oh yeah, they say the
Okay,
a
so
bastard son of Loki.
Right.
right, so we're going back to Marvel movies again.
Norse mythology.
I need to
Um,
drink more.
it's some sort of creature in No One Gets Out Alive. It's some sort of creature that can make you see things, which, oh my gosh,
The
same with The
U-10 did too.
Ritual.
Yeah. That's why I was
Now that
asking
I'm
for another
thinking about
U-10.
it,
Yeah.
um, it I can't, I have to read it because I have read that the book is supposed to be better than the movie, but I did like it. Strong characters. It almost feels like a paranormal film, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yep, totally. I'm just like reading it. Apparently, there's a lot more in the book, which explains a lot more than what's in
Hmm.
the movie. I mean, but, how about Cold Skin?
Loved it.
That one I don't know.
That was a fantastic movie. It's about these people are they're in a lighthouse
Yep,
and they're attacked by creatures from the water.
yep.
Ooh.
It's really, really well done. I was really surprised because I expected it to be like an artsy fartsy boring movie. It is not that.
Well, it's still a little weird,
It is weird, but it's good
like a
weird.
lot weird.
But it's good weird. It's not terrible weird.
So I remember people talking about this because there's a scene in this, or was it implied, or was it a scene? And then The Shape of Water, and it's like, where are all these guys like fucking,
Fish.
mer women things? whatever the hell they are.
So one of my
Bruiser Man,
one of my favorite creature features, which is odd to say this because I'm so afraid of snakes, is Anaconda. I think that movie is so much fun.
I liked Anaconda, but I liked the other, like the sequel, or what is it?
Anacondas.
No, hold on.
Anaconda, The Hunt for the Bloodstone or something,
Blood Orchid.
Blood
with
Orchid, yes.
David Hasselhoff in it.
I really liked that, but I remember watching it when I was young and in Florida. I watched a lot of weird stuff because we didn't have cable
It's
at my
Florida.
house.
I mean,
So
what do you
when we
expect?
were on vacation, I would watch cable. I watched a lot of weird stuff. But I remember just popping it and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. And
Was
I
it the
tried to
bait
watch it.
ball? Is that what did it? Was it the giant mating ball?
Oh yeah. No. I remember there just being, I think it was in this one where there was a scene where they're like walking in the water, like waist deep water, and there's like like getting pulled under. There's
That
something about water, animals in water that can eat you that I'm just like chef's kiss.
well, like I
Mhm.
mean, the big part of that too is like
Hang on, have
it's
you
always
heard of this?
murky water. It's not water you can see to the bottom of, right? So
True.
you don't know what's down there,
Sounds like Lake
like,
Erie.
right?
Wh-
And but if it was clear water, your fear's gone, right? Because you can
Oh,
see what's coming for you.
well, but Rebecca, I don't know if you've heard of this one called Jaws. It's
I
really good. It's very much. It's probably on your to watch list.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
I've
highly,
ever heard of that.
well, yeah. It's
She's
not
probably seen
really
Jaws
well
the
known.
Revenge from when she was a kid.
The
I
Revenge.
do did that is that one like a later one?
Yeah, it's like number 4 in the series.
Oh.
What? There's a
Michael Caine.
series.
What?
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Hello, my name is Michael Caine.
Um, yeah, that goes back to loving the not seeing the assailant
Right.
and just at first. I don't mind seeing it later, which of course was like something that kind of had to happen for Jaws because Bruce was just notorious for not working
Right.
properly. They had to be sneaky about it.
Kind of like
Um,
Mark.
pardon me?
Kind of said
Oh,
kind of like Mark.
I heard it after. It's my auditory processing disorder. I got the joke after. Jokes are
Fair enough.
often lost on me because I think I can't hear you, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh, I heard you.
Yeah.
After I've
That's
already said to repeat yourself.
Yeah,
no
well,
worries.
you're like Jim, except Jim is more like a day or two.
What?
You heard me.
Pardon me?
I don't think I did.
Sea Fever. Have you seen Sea Fever? Talking about
I
underwater
have.
creature features.
That one was like weird algae or
Yeah,
something. Algae creature thing.
right.
So
It's
sort of like
it's
the raft.
almost Lovecraftian in a
Yeah.
way.
So it's like the
Right.
raft. Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's not the raft. What are you talking about?
I said it's like the raft. I didn't say it was the raft.
It's nothing like the raft.
What I really liked about Sea Fever was everything with the eyes.
Right.
Because I am very much if you have a horror movie and you're doing stuff to eyes and ripping out fingernails, I'm like, ooh,
Did
I
we talk
don't like
about this?
that.
Did we talk about this before? You should really watch a lot of Lucio Fulci stuff
Yeah,
because
nobody cares now.
he loves ocular torture.
Lucio
I
Fulci takes it personally when people have eyes.
I don't know like why it is. It's one of the things, what was it? The scene in Slumdog Millionaire. I remember everybody being like, this movie's amazing. And there's that one scene I was like, oh, like if you scoop out eyes, I don't like it.
Well,
I
what one of the most famous kind of early horror-ish shorts by Salvador Dali, Lashan, whatever it is, has, and this was in the 30s or 40s, 30s. He has a woman's eye, and he has a cutthroat blade. This goes across her eye, and the eye just goes.
but I can deal with a lot of stuff. I can watch somebody in film get disemboweled, and I'm just like, but if you touch somebody's eye, I'm like, oh, I don't even like putting in contacts.
So in one of Fulci's most famous movies, Zombie, a zombie grabs a woman's head and there's a splinter from the door, and slowly, slowly until it starts going dry, just slowly. You should watch Zombies. There's also a shark versus a zombie, and it's a real shark.
Amazing. Eyes,
Isn't there,
teeth,
isn't
and
there a
fingernails.
teleporting zombie in that one too?
No. A teleporting zombie in Zombie? No. You haven't seen Zombie.
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Right.
And there's a reason.
Yeah, because you're
So let's talk about 2016, Rebecca, because you were just a wee lad at that time, right?
How
You were a
tiny do
guy?
you think I am?
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Jim.
you were just a wee laddie.
Yeah, exactly. Colossal, starring Anne Hathaway. Probably
Haven't
one of
seen
her best
Colossal.
films.
I haven't seen that. I was always kind of curious about it, but never got around to watching it.
So basically,
Yeah, she controls a
randomly
kaiju, right?
she randomly develops the ability to control a giant monster in Japan.
I had never heard of that until maybe 2 months ago when I randomly came across a trailer, and I remember thinking, why do I not know about this? I don't know. But in
She has to be
2016,
she has to be asleep or sleepy, and she has to be standing in a particular spot on a playground.
As you
that's
do.
so random.
Uh-huh.
So how about a creature feature where you don't really ever see the creature?
We love
Such
that.
as?
The Mothman prophecies.
Haven't seen that.
You know what? You do need to cancel all these projects. And you're going to come back on every week so that we
Moth-
can make sure you're doing your homework.
We have
Fair
to.
enough.
Mothman Prophecies is a fantastic movie, but to me, it's more of a drama than a creature feature because you
Well-
don't. There's no creature involved.
Well, there is. That's the whole point. That's
There
why it's called
isn't.
So hang on. So everyone just made it up?
Yes, it's a mass hysteria. It's mass hysteria.
It's not that. It's not
It
that
is.
at all. You need to watch it again, dude.
I have watched it twice.
So what happens at the end?
Oh god, I don't remember. It's been 10 years since I've seen it.
Don't ruin it for me. See, I'm saving you, Jim.
47. That's all I'm gonna say. 47.
Yeah. You wish you were 47.
Right, I do.
What else have we got?
How
The
about Slither?
host from 2006. Ooh, Slither. I
Slither,
love Slither.
Slither, which is basically Night of the Creeps, just a modern take on
I
it.
love Night of the Creeps, so maybe I'll like Slither.
Yeah, Slither is
Slither's
really good.
funny.
It's Gunn, right? He made it, and what's his face? Michael Rooker is in it. Elizabeth Banks.
Not a
I love
few
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
named people.
How about Mimic?
Mimic was great. One of
Did like
Mira Sorvino's
Mimic.
best movies.
Yep, Mimic's really, really good.
The host from 2006.
Have not seen it.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Although it
Wasn't it written by
talks-
the same person that wrote Twilight?
No,
it's
that
a
different.
Korean one.
Different host. Yes, I know.
Different.
So I really like the host, but our host, but I think the South Korean sense of humor is a little different to ours, and I think some of that didn't land for me.
I
But
was
otherwise, really good.
I was laughing at the way the creature was running around.
Right, but they do this weird thing with like a funeral with the girl, and I don't know what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work for me. That's the only part. I really like the rest of it. Yeah, it's great when he's running around. It's just out of the water, just
Yeah.
like what the fuck is this? Okay, and then you can talk about obviously the kaiju stuff, the Godzilla stuff, Cloverfield, all those.
Cloverfield was great. I even enjoyed Cloverfield Paradox.
I've watched all the Cloverfield movies to a certain extent.
I can't, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why, I can watch found footage at the wazoo. Cloverfield had way too much shaky cam. I actually got motion sick from watching it.
Ray did too. He couldn't watch it.
But my major issue is that first like 15, 20 minutes, and it's just
You think the
the
party's
most
boring?
most boring, fucking annoying shit that I've ever seen. So if I ever watch it, I skip them. I'm like, I don't need to sit through that.
I tried to rewatch it recently because when it first came out, I was like I almost threw up, and then I tried to rewatch it just like a month ago, and I was like, nope, I'm still not good at this. But like I threw up every time I got into a moving vehicle until I was 12, so
That's
I
fair.
re-
I will say that Cloverfield was another movie that they had on point marketing with the websites and the puzzles they kept
Mm.
giving out. That was really well done.
And it's funny because they kind of aped a lot of the stuff that the Blair Witch
Yeah,
did, right?
absolutely.
And they're both found footage.
Yep.
So Jim, 1998, one of your favorite creature feature movies ever to come out with Ben Affleck.
No idea.
You think it's better than the book? Peter
That
O'Toole.
Oh, fuck you. I hate Phantoms. I hate
Phantoms
that
is
movie
great.
with all of my being.
I haven't
Dean,
seen it.
Dean
The
Koontz
Phantoms is
should never
great.
adapt one of his own books. He fucks it up every time.
Um, what would you call
It
like
just got
art?
really weird in here, didn't it?
I mean, like most of the time, even when Stephen King adapts his stuff himself, it's kind of not great.
Like,
So
okay, so let's just start. I'll give you one glaring problem with that movie. In the book, the sister, the main character's sister, Joanna's sister, is supposed to be like 12, and fucking Rose McGowan is playing her, and she's not 12.
Right, but you know why they did that, right?
No,
That was a studio. The studio thought the that was a little bit going too far, so they wanted an older actress.
they cut all the lascivious crap that would have been uncomfortable out of the movie anyway.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. You don't see
Leave Strider is creepy as fuck in that.
you don't see him in the book. He masturbates in front of a 12-year-old.
Right, but they're not going to put that in a movie, Jim. That
That's
they
my
want
point.
to
They
make
cut
money.
out all of the really the stuff that goes too far.
Right,
So why did they have to make that change?
but because they wanted to make money and not have an X-rated movie that they couldn't make money from, Jim.
And this is why we get movies like The Changeling.
I love the
Um,
Changeling.
that's a really weird pivot, which doesn't make any sense.
That's
Anyway, what else? What else do we have? So what about Art the Clown? Is Art the Clown from Terrifier a creature?
Nobody knows yet. So far, he's just a clown.
But don't they say he's like a demon? Doesn't that
I-
then get into a totally different type?
It-
You can't
it's
ask me. I've only ever seen the first one, and that was once.
it's kind of like Jeepers Creepers, right? The creeper is a creature, or
Mm-hmm.
Jeepers Creepers shows up on creature feature lists.
Yes, he is. He is a creature.
although the creeper is really the director. But
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
what else? There was another one I was going to say. Jeepers Creepers, art. Oh, Pumpkinhead.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie.
He's a
Great
demon.
creature.
Yeah,
Huh?
he is. He's
Yeah,
a
he's a
demon,
demon.
but
Yeah.
it is essentially a creature.
Like I said, everything's a creature if it's living or
Mark, it's okay to be
moving.
wrong.
Ah.
What about
Would
Night
you think
Breed?
like the Mist? Like, would the Mist be a creature
Oh, the Mist
feature?
is a great
They're
creature.
robots.
Robots.
Yes.
Don't listen to Jimmy, just being honest. How about Pennywise? He's a creature, right?
Is he?
Alien.
He's interdimensional, right?
Right. Still a creature, it turns into
That almost
different.
gets Lovecraftian, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So I would put that in a separate pocket myself.
Well, it's a good thing nobody listens to you.
Good thing nobody touches my pockets.
I had to watch a creature feature for Cinema Society because I'm pretty sure was creature feature the category. What was it? It had Jeremy Sumpter in it. What did I watch?
I don't know. The werewolf one?
No.
What sort,
Jeremy
what sort
Sumpter
of
was in a
creature?
werewolf movie?
What sort of
Animal.
creature?
Animal. Haven't seen it.
Um, it was okay. It was really just, oh no, you're in a forest. There's something chasing you. It herds you. You try to escape. You really can't. That's what it was. But Jeremy Sumpter was in it, and I really loved him when I was young because he was Peter Pan. So
So was what's her name? Mary
Mary
Martin.
that
Mary?
Mary
that
Martin.
was the first Peter Pan I ever saw, and it's like a play. It has very clear like theater set.
Yes. That's Peter Pan as a play.
Thank you, Jim.
I
I had no idea.
I was just trying to be helpful, Rebecca. I was just trying to
Jim
be
is
helpful.
usually a very helpful co-host.
I try to be. I try to be. What
How
about
about
the hills have eyes, Mark?
no?
Those are people.
But they've all been irradiated, so are they technically creatures?
I
No.
I think that so okay,
Well,
if I had
technically,
said
everyone's a creature. So yeah.
I think that they can't be humans.
Can't have been human, or
Because okay, I feel like if they were originally human, they can't be like any bit of human left.
gotcha. Fair enough.
But I'm just making things up, right? Like
I mean, that's what this
I-
podcast is all about. We just
is
make
it
shit up until we're bored.
is a zombie a creature?
No, because they still appear human for the most
yeah.
part.
So you have to appear human.
So what
So
about Black Demon?
what about it?
The
Have you seen
shark
it?
movie?
Yeah.
The Phantom Megalodon movie?
Yeah. What hot garbage, huh? It was
I
awful.
I didn't love it. But I had a I had a coworker who spoke Spanish, but the only Spanish he would speak was swear words in front of us, and then so I was able to know all of the swear words.
Nice.
When I was watching that, I was like, I know what that means the
I bet
entire
you
time.
do. What about
How
Deep
about
Rising?
yes, fantastic. In
Sorry?
fact, Deep Rising
From
and
1998.
Underwater make a good double bill.
What about then? Okay, what about
It-
Leviathan, Mark?
Yes, Leviathan, Deep Star Six, and The Abyss.
Is the
All take-
Abyss a creature feature?
well, it's aliens, but yes, since we included Alien.
Fair? Fair?
How about Nope?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah,
Also, aliens.
but it really is a creature. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
That flying vagina.
listen, Jim. Enough about your what kinks or whatever. Um, a movie which I don't like, A Quiet Place, another alien one.
I like A Quiet Place, and I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I know why.
I enjoyed A Quiet Place. I saw A Quiet Place day one, and the only thing I cared about was the cat.
I fell asleep twice trying to watch day one.
It I don't think it had the same
Emotional.
charm,
Yeah.
and there wasn't as much there wasn't as much going on, right? Like, so, in A Quiet Place, she literally has to quietly give birth in a bathtub by herself. Like,
After
whoa.
stepping on that nail.
Yeah, so there was a lot of that going on. And A Quiet Place day one, I think it lost all of that because it was just like, oh no, we have to try to escape. I only cared about the fate of the cat, but I already knew that the cat lived because I made people tell me because I wasn't about to no, I wasn't about to go watch that movie because I didn't want to. When the
Oh,
trailers first came out for it, I was like, that cat has to live. If that cat doesn't live, I'm gonna riot.
Right.
Show me
There's
that
a
cat.
website called Does the
Does a
Dog
dog die?
Speaking of
Um,
dogs dying,
no, we don't talk about that.
no, I read my second Nick Cutter book. That dude likes to torture dogs in his story.
You read The Deep?
Yes.
Or I haven't read The Deep yet.
It's
I've only
not
read The
great.
Troop.
It's not great. It's not nowhere near the troop level at all.
Oh, people love it, but people
No,
did warn me about the dog scene.
it is essentially Sphere, just a lot
Mhm.
more boring.
Spears, good.
Yeah, I
How
agree. I like Spear, but The Deep is pretty boring.
Hmm.
how about another found footage one I only saw fairly recently and really enjoyed it. The Bay.
Haven't seen it.
I watched The Bay a while ago. I can barely remember it,
Is
which
it
is
about
not good.
Chesapeake Bay?
No,
What bay is it?
it's the bay where all the stuff's happening.
Yes, but which bay? There's only a few well-known bays.
Hudson's Bay.
Um,
Yeah.
Bayshore Boulevard, which is the only. I don't know. So
What?
anyway, Jim, it's actually based on a real life parasite that
Okay.
attaches itself to in a fish's mouth, eats away the tongue of the fish,
Yes,
and so, but it's like a
I've heard about this parasite.
yeah, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the parasite was good.
It's a really
Well,
great parasite, you know?
Yeah, that's what I
A
thought
lot of
he was
great
gonna say.
ideas.
it was delicious. Yeah. What?
What?
There's Parasite with what's her name?
Is that a creature feature?
Demi Moore. Demi Moore.
You're talking about the substance
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either.
either. But-
Under Paris, which was the dumbest shit I've ever
Oh,
seen in
fuck
my life.
you. But I do have to say I heard somebody say that The Substance was the best body horror film since The Fly 2 or The Fly. Sorry, The Fly from
wow.
1986.
Sorry, dude, that was just so funny.
I know.
Since a fly too.
I
That's it.
know.
So would The Descent be a creature feature?
Yes.
Yes.
They have lost all sense of humanity at that point.
Humanoid.
Here's maybe an even better example. What is that?
Humanoid
space-
from the deep.
No. With Dennis Quaid in it. Oh, I love this movie too. Why am I not? Dennis Quaid.
Dreamscape.
No space.
Space
Oh,
Camp?
it's Pandorum.
I've never seen it.
Have you
I
seen
think I've
Pandorum?
seen it.
No.
It's great.
Await further instructions was better.
I
Oh.
liked Await Further Instructions.
too.
I watched it and I felt like it's like I watched it like around Christmas. I'm like, this is a Christmas adjacent movie, kind of like Die Hard. Like it's not about Christmas, but it happens at Christmas.
Oh, it's raining again.
It's like what? Oh my gosh! Like I'm like, what is Jim seeing?
I just heard noise, so I was listening to see if I could tell what it was.
Jim, we had the director of this found footage creature feature,
Uh-huh, we did.
and it is what?
Frogman,
Yes.
Ooh, I haven't seen that
Right.
one yet.
written and directed by Anthony Cousins. He is a friend of the show. He's a great guy.
Oh,
I watched The Hollow from 2015. I watched that back in March.
How was that?
I thought it was okay. Irish horror.
that's
Oh.
like the Pet Cemetery type one, right?
No, that one. The
Oh,
Pet
no,
Sematary
no.
one.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
The
was the
Hollow. It's
one-
like a guy was like, he works
Yeah, he's a
check out
scientist.
trees. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
scientist
yeah.
who has to study the trees to see if they're okay to cut down or something. And then it's like a really old Irish forest, and the creatures in there are mad.
Yep.
I gotta look one up because I wanted to ask Mark about it.
Mhm. How about the Kindred from 1987?
I haven't
Seen the
seen that.
Kindred? Yeah, it's hard to find. It's really good though.
Silent Hill is popping up on creature feature lists.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evil, I guess, is a creature feature. What?
Hmm.
What about Mark? Have you seen You Are Not My Mother?
That was a very loaded sentence. Hang on, what?
Have you
You Are
seen the
Not-
movie You Are Not My Mother?
No.
So this is about a girl who is convinced that her mother is a changeling.
Like Biscuit. Oh, Biscuit's like a skinwalker. She could be a changeling though.
Right. So it's actually it's an Irish film. And it's done really, really well. It's a very good slow burn
Hmm.
with a
Talking about,
great payoff at the end.
talking about Irish movies, obviously Grabbers. Have you seen Grabbers?
Mm.
I have not.
Where they find out it's like this like alien or whatever, like tentacles eating people, and they find out that you have to be drunk and it doesn't like to eat you, so they all have to get as drunk as they can. It's very Irish in that way. Thanksgiving.
That's when
I
animals attack
love,
the turkey.
Yes,
but he's like a sentient turkey
It's a
that
mutant
says
he's still
really
a
vulgar
turkey.
things.
but that's okay. You know,
Nice tits, bitch.
The scene where he puts the sheriff's face on his face,
Oh
and
my
he
god!
and he goes,
And they're
and
all
his
bending
daughter,
down to talk
yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
His daughter's bending down, like, "Hi, Dad." Like,
Right?
he's as tall as a turkey,
Yeah.
girl.
it can still be an animal, right? So like arachnophobia is a creature feature. So Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving free are both creature features.
Yep.
So is Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, when people like say like Jurassic Park is like a horror movie, I'm like, I just think of it as an adventure film.
It
However,
is an action adventure film.
I've been told that the book is gruesome.
I haven't read it.
It's on my list now
Hey,
because
Mark.
I need to read it.
I want to pivot a little bit because I found a list that I think we need to talk to Mark about. It's the 15 best Irish horror movies to watch for St. Patty's Day.
Now, are these just about Ireland, or are they about Northern Ireland because it's
These
separate?
are Irish produced.
How about Northern Irish produced? Or
I
is it?
didn't go that deep, Mark.
I'm just asking questions here.
I'm letting you know I didn't go that deep. We're gonna start with Dead
That's what
Meat,
she said. What?
2004. Dead
Which
Meat.
one?
Dead
Dead
Meat.
Meat. Dead Meat. Not seen
Yes.
it.
Okay. What about, well, we already talked about Grabbers.
Yep.
Stitches from
The
2012.
clown one.
Yep.
Uh, it was a little underwhelming. But
It's supposed to be a horror comedy.
but it has the best use of "I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight" song in a movie. It's there's just one scene in it. It's just fantastic with that song.
What about Without Name from 2016?
What about it?
Have you seen it?
No.
The Cured from 2017.
Cured? No.
Yes. This stars Elliot Page and Sam Keeley. So essentially everybody gets the zombie virus, but then people get cured, but people still treat them like they're zombies.
I
Oh.
feel there's some sort of social
Commentary.
implications to that. Yeah. Mhm.
What about The Devil's Doorway from 2018?
Yes, really good. Really enjoyed it. And
Yep.
that's a Northern Irish one.
The Hole in the Ground from 2019,
Nope.
directed by Lee Cronin.
I didn't love that.
Really? I don't know. She just looks really dirty in this picture. This
Oh,
is a
yeah,
movie I
ooh.
just saw that was kind of fun. The Boys from County Hell.
Well, if you remember, that was a big recommendation for me.
It was. I just saw that a couple weeks ago.
And I told you I could provide translation if you need.
Yeah, but I followed it. Bring Out the Fear from 2021.
No.
Next up is the movie I was just talking about, You Are Not My Mother from 2021. What about Let the Wrong One In from 2021?
I've seen that on like a streaming service, but I've never clicked on it.
It's essentially a comedy take on
How
Let the
about
Wrong One In.
yeah.
Figured as much.
What about the 2021 short film The Changeling?
Well, let's talk about The Changeling.
No, we're talking about the
George C. Scott
2021
movie for a
version.
little bit.
Nope, we're talking about the 2021 version, the short film.
So hang on, Rebecca, you're an actress, right? This is your trade. So
It is.
you're
Yes.
you're the expert in the room. So can George C. Scott act or can he not act?
He cannot.
I really like the Changeling. I think I think he plays a believable character.
He does emote a lot, and you can feel the pain that he's carrying around.
Yes,
from
especially when
the
he's on the phone
devastation.
going, No.
No, when he's in his bed, he's just like crying. He's just like he's just had so much trauma. It's
You can feel it.
yeah, you can. It's
Feel
you
it.
know,
You can
and
see it.
that's why he won an Oscar because
I get
he
more feeling from my hemorrhoid cream.
uh, is this another OnlyFans thing you're trying to do? Only
Oh,
roids.
yeah, only roids. That's a new streaming service. Mark, do you want to move on to what we've watched?
Sure. Why don't we start with Rebecca?
What I've watched recently.
Watched
No, what
Red
you've watched in the
Plague.
distant past would be better.
I just watched Oddity
How
not
was
too
it?
long ago. I enjoyed it. I found, I mean, it was a slow burn,
Yeah.
but I very much enjoyed it. I loved the cinematography. It had a jump scare in it that got me, and I actually audibly yelped, and
Hmm.
I don't do that. Jump scares don't get me. It got me.
But they clearly do now.
Do you
Just
know
that one.
do you know one of the best it's actually two jump scares in one
No,
scene
no, no,
is the
no.
George C. Scott classic Exorcist 3.
Classic.
It is a class.
Yep. George C. Scott, what an actor.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
The
just
best.
out of this world.
Crazy awesome.
I mean, his role as Patton and then his role in
I told you he plays a great military or cop. That's all he can do.
He can't play a composer, apparently.
No.
I watched Cuckoo recently.
And how was it? Because I'm
no
dying to see that one.
spoilers. I haven't seen it.
I I enjoyed it. If I had to pick a horror movie based on the Cuckoo Bird, I would still go Vivarium.
So, Cuckoo versus Longlegs. What do you got?
Did you ever think you'd say that sentence out loud in your life? Cuckoo versus Longlegs.
You know,
Sounds like a
I
sci-fi movie.
I know.
I gosh, they're
Sorry,
com
did
you're good, you're good. They're completely different films. Like it
Yes.
I still think I would say that if Longlegs had a stronger
um
ending, totally Longlegs.
so what I'm saying about the cuckoo bird, so do you mean the actual cuckoo bird?
Well,
We're back to birds again.
the idea of the cuckoo, yeah, we're back to birds. The
Right,
idea of the cuckoo bird,
right. So like the village of the damned.
the putting a having somebody else or
Look
something
after your
else.
egg. Yeah. Which is village
Yeah.
of the damned, right? That was the Midwich Cuckoos was the name of that book.
Yeah, I think Vivarium is still a better film, though I know a lot of people don't like Vivarium.
Yeah,
But
that didn't get a lot of good reviews that I saw, but
it made me
what are
I,
angry.
reviews?
I haven't seen it, but I hear a lot about it.
Then I had a rewatch the other day because I was just not feeling watching a new movie. So I had to rewatch the comfort film Hot Fuzz.
Hmm.
Who doesn't love Hot Fuzz?
And then I just saw Night of the Comet. It was part of my Cinema Society Saturday, and I very much enjoyed it. It was very 80s though.
Yes.
There was literally dancing around trying on clothes to Cyndi Lauper.
If you want to
Spe-
see something that's even more 80s, watch Chud.
If
I
you
feel
want
like
to
you've
see
recommended this before.
if you want to see something even more 80s than Chud, watch The Hidden with Cal McLaughlin in it.
Haven't seen that one yet.
There's a creature in that.
Well,
Oh,
keep in
on
mind
brand.
she's gonna spill water on this list later and never remember.
Yeah,
You know
yes.
what? I
So
haven't even been writing it down. I don't have a pen. I'm just putting it in my noggin. So my ADHD is gonna make it go.
You'll have
I'll
to,
have to listen to the episode again too, just make
yeah,
notes
except
later.
she's gonna say, "Oh, I forgot to listen." No, I don't have the list.
Hey, I took my Adderall today. I am capable of existing.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Anyway, continue.
I've been re-listening to the Magnus Archives. I don't know if you're
Podcast it is, right?
familiar. Yeah, I never finished it because my ADHD got bad and I stopped being able to focus. So I've been re-listening to it and it's so good. There's a specific episode called Lost John's Cave, and I remember the first time that I listened to it, I got chills. It made me, oh, it was so spooky. And I listened to it again with headphones and it was spooky. So
Nice.
it's a good good podcast. And then
Unlike this
I've
one.
you know what? This one's awesome. I love I love horror podcasts with like that immerse you
Yeah.
in like I think I talked about last time I talked about the Manawa Caves, which is actually
Yeah.
a Blumhouse. It was good though. Haha. Um but I love that sort of horror podcast that is a story that with that really
Yeah.
good production value.
Yeah.
So Mark. Um so that yeah, that's been really good. And other than that, I've been rewatching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina
Oh, it's a good one.
because it's feeling very spooky girl outside, so I had to rewatch that.
I hate you.
That show ended really terribly. It's been raining here, Jim.
It's
It's
raining
just
here right now. What's your point?
it's just not hot here. Well, actually, it was pretty hot today.
I have been sweating so much the last 3 days. Oh my God.
That's
Like
what air conditioning's
I have
for.
So,
serious swamp ass.
Jim, can you stop with your OnlyFans stuff? It's enough.
Oh God. Mark, what have you watched? Or I'm sorry, Rebecca, were you finished?
Oh no, that's it for me.
Okay. Mark,
Okay,
what
because
garbage do
of
you have for us today?
because of the hurricane and everything else been going on, not a lot. So, I watched a movie called The Special. You heard about this one?
Is that
From
like about Woolworths or Kmart? What?
No, so it starts off and this guy's in a bar talking to his friend. They're both having some drinks, and the guy's like, "Yeah, man, I think my wife's cheating on me because I found all these things, and I really think she's cheating on me." And his friend's like, "You know what? Fuck her. I'm gonna take you somewhere, and we're gonna get hookers." He's like, "I don't, no, I don't want to do that." He's like, "I'm gonna give you something even better. I'm gonna get you the special." He's like, "No," but eventually, obviously, they go to this house of ill repute, Jim, and there's all these girls come down, and he's like, "Oh, is she the special?" I'm like, "No, the special's upstairs." So they take him upstairs and put him in this room, and there's just this big box with a hole in it, and it says, "Put it in here."
Is this the
Glory
one with the
hole.
chicken with the people watching?
No,
Okay.
the chicken and the people watching. What the hell are you talking about? So anyway, so he's drunk and he's like, "Okay, I'll do it." He has the special, and it's so great. And then the rest of the movie is kind of him deteriorating, as far as like it's like being on drugs or addiction or something, because he's addicted to what's in this box that he puts his junk into.
Huh.
Weird.
And you do find out what's in the box at a certain point.
What's in the
It's not just a
box?
Okay.
sentient hole. That's what we get with Deep Dark.
Jim, you have a little bit more self-respect than that. Don't say that about yourself. Anyway, sentient hole. That's a great fucking thing to put somebody. You're just a sentient hole.
Hmm.
So the other thing that I watched was a 2023 documentary called "Satan Wants You." And this is all about how the Satanic Panic started.
Oh, right.
Basically from one woman in Australia who wrote a book with her psychiatrist, saying that she was, ritually abused and all this sort of stuff.
I mean,
Obviously,
it got all the way to Roseanne Barr.
yeah. But this was an okay documentary. I think it could have been a little shorter. They try and build it up as far as, and there's actually, they don't bring it up in this documentary, but I think there's still people in jail that were accused of the whole satanic thing in the 80s, which is crazy to me. But it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was worth a watch. That's it.
Oh, wow. That is a short list for you, Mark.
I told you, Hurricane.
So I haven't talked about this yet, but I saw a screener for a movie called Invoking Yell.
Invoking Yell.
Yell, yes. It's
Yell.
Yell.
Okay.
It's about it's a Spanish found footage film about a death metal band.
Hmm.
And these people are so unlikable, and that's why I hate found footage, because everybody's just such terrible human beings, right? So they bring this girl out into the woods to induct her into the band, right? Turns out they're really just bringing her out there to sacrifice her. So yeah, that's about all I'm going to say about that. The first half of this film, it's a slog to get through, but then when shit starts to pop off, it really starts to pop off.
And again, we talked about found footage, and I think that there is a problem with characters that just have to talk nonstop, right? There's
Yes.
never have like 30 seconds of dead air, right? Of just nobody talking, just
Right.
everyone. So they always have to yap 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 yap. Yap.
And
And a lot of found footage does have that first portion where it's just people just fucking talking and
yep.
nothing.
And it was a sense, it was I probably shouldn't say this because we might be talking to the filmmaker. But they try so hard in the beginning to set this person, one of the main characters, up as this misunderstood artistic type, but she's really just a giant pain in the ass who thinks way too much of herself.
So she's like
Right.
you.
Yeah, pretty much. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's why I don't
I
like seeing stuff
understand.
on screen. Yeah. So I showed my nephew, my 9-year-old, my 10-year-old nephew. I went to show him Nightmare on Elm Street last night. We got about 10 minutes in, and he goes, "Oh, I know this movie," and he starts to quote it for me. So I'm like, okay, so he does know this movie. God damn it. So I'm thinking to myself, what else can I show him?
The entities. Sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
So I just, what did I wind up showing him instead? We watched something else that he really, really liked. Oh well, it'll come to me at some point. Um, so Mark, you know how I like to read, right?
Read and write. Yes.
Yes. So, right, what?
You said that. Moving on. Because you said
Okay.
you know how you like to read, right? See what I mean, Rebecca? He'll get it tomorrow at some point. I know what he's saying.
I
It's
got
the
it.
ADHD.
Yeah. But anyway, so I have this I have this author crush on somebody. Because he's just such a pretty man. And I've tried 3 of his books now, and they're just not for me.
Is it Stephen King?
Mm.
Christopher Triana.
So hang on. Let me get this straight. You want to like his books because you find them attractive.
Yes.
Rebecca? Thoughts?
Is the reason you don't like George C. Scott because you don't find him attractive?
No.
So you do find him attractive.
No.
So I'm confused here. Rebecca, can you help?
I mean, like,
But it's so it's such a weird thing, right? Because you could say, well, I find this actor or actress attractive, so I'm going to watch the movies. But I don't like the
You
movies.
cannot tell me that. So
No,
you
wait,
cannot
stop,
tell me you've
wait.
never watched a movie just because you find somebody
But wait,
attractive.
you buy a book, you're not looking at the author.
I mean, maybe you just spend a lot of time looking at the back cover.
No, I actually just watch TikTok videos, but that's beside the point.
So why do you continue reading his books?
Because I want to like them and I want to support indie horror authors.
What if he was ugly?
If you got me. You got me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jim, I'm gonna start writing indie horror, and because I'm so adorable, you're gonna have to like it whether you like it or not.
well, I consider you a friend, so I'd have to try and I'd have to read it anyway, or at least buy it and tell you I read it.
Like, wow, so great, and you've never actually cracked the spine.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, if there's one word that I associate with Jim, it's integrity.
I thought it was
Well,
pedantic.
And if there's two words I associate with Jim, it's sentient whole.
okay. But anyway, so I'm listening to Christopher Trana's book, The Old Lady,
Huh.
and it's not a bad book, but I think I expected him to be a lot more extreme than he is, and that's where the disconnect is. I really, the further I push myself into extreme horror, the further I want to go.
You're it's like a drug. You're desensitized, and now
Yeah,
you want
kind of.
more,
It
a little
is.
bit more, a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Or
You
or
know,
push my boundaries. Like
Yeah.
so, I'll be blunt. Like, and this is gonna sound like lip service, but it's not. K.L. Alistair has a book called The Last Call,
mhm.
and there is a scene in there with a shot glass and a decapitation that made me pucker. I
It-
was like, oh, and that's what I look for. That's what I want.
Is that what a pucker is?
No other parts of me are puckering. That was just sound effect for demonstration purposes.
Listen, we've had enough about your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So James, when are you going to start like mainlining the real stuff,
Mm.
the real gore, the real
Like
deaths?
Faces of Death. What do you
No,
mean?
no, that's all faked.
Then what are you talking about?
I won't tell you what I'm talking about because it's gross.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else because the last 2 weeks have sort of sucked, so I haven't really done much reading or TV watching.
But we've cheered you up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I did watch The Ritual with my mother yesterday,
Mhm.
so
Yes.
that was great. I wish I could remember what movie I put on for my nephew
That's
because
why
he
you have
actually.
Letterboxd.
I'm so bad with Letterboxd.
Was it the special?
No,
Okay.
no, I went through my Voodoo library and put on a movie that I thought he would enjoy, and I can't for the life of me remember which.
Serpent in the Rainbow. Serpent in
Love
the Rainbow.
Serpent in the Rainbow.
It was not
Uh,
Serpent in the Rainbow.
Other movies about voodoo. Let's see.
The Skeleton
Dude,
Key.
I'm talking about Fandango at Home. It used to be called Voodoo.
It's Voodoo Man.
Yeah, it's Voodoo. Hang on. My library. The Banana Splits. That's what it was.
That was disappointing.
He loved it.
Yeah, well, he's
He
tan.
thought it was great.
Did you sit there and just, this is terrible. Why are you laughing?
He kept going, is this Five Nights at Freddy's? No. No, it's not.
One more time.
Yep. But that's it for me.
So he might like Willy's Wonderland.
He
I
might.
love
I-
Willy's Wonderland.
We haven't I'm slowly but surely bringing him into horror. He likes it, but he still also has nightmares. Oh, so I take that back. There's one more thing I want to talk about. My mother and I turned on Apartment 7A today.
What's that?
It's the Rosemary's
that?
Baby prequel
Oh.
I didn't know
on
there
Paramount
was one.
Plus. Yeah. I screamed out loud.
It was scary?
No.
Oh.
You
were
hated it?
angry.
So Rebecca, could you remind us why I hate Twilight so much?
Because vampires sparkle?
So does this
I don't-
demon. It's like bedazzled from head to fucking toe.
Ah. I love it. I'll have to watch it now.
It was fucking awful. It was just as boring as Rosemary's Baby, but with a bedazzled demon.
I feel like
Like
And then there's this
Sequence,
weird
or-
dance that she does. At the end, the main character does this weird dance to a song from Dirty Dancing.
What?
And I was just like, what? It takes place
So-
in like 1965, so the song would have come out then.
So,
Um,
Jim, I kind of feel like I could write a movie that would just be set out to annoy you.
I bet you
I,
could.
I, I've got the cast in mind, as you
I bet
know.
you do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got sparkles.
Mhm.
You know, I've got maybe ugly authors. I don't know.
Super pedantic.
Super
Yes.
pedantic.
You know,
I
but
want
everyone
I
else
want
might love
Adam's
it.
apples that move too much and hairy hands.
Oh, that's right. You and your and what about was it wigs or
Hobbit feet. Yeah, wigs, bad wigs. Really
Bad
terrible
Bad
wigs.
wigs.
Mhm. Like the Love Witch. Her wig bothered me.
So we're just gonna buy wigs from
Spirit
like
Halloween.
Spirit Halloween. There you go.
so Rebecca? I've got another project in mind.
Oh yeah?
We can do it in a pretty low budget, but we have to get Jennifer Carpenter in there. We also have to get Sherry Moon Zombie in there, so that
Mhm.
Jim. Who else do you hate?
Right now, you.
No, actors. People that are important.
I don't. Those are really the only two I have a visceral reaction to.
I'm sure there's others. Anyway,
I'm sure there are. I'm sure. I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
I
okay.
should not mention that I've also been rewatching Dexter.
I mean, I liked everything about Dexter except Deb. The
Um,
fact that they played a brother and sister but were sleeping together because they were married, that was weird.
yeah, but we live in Florida.
That's sort of like okay, here's something that annoyed the shit out of me this week, right? Because you know what doesn't, but something stupid. I hate the original song because it's Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra singing about being in love. That's fucking gross. Now Nicole Kidman and Robbie Williams do it, and it's beautiful.
I mean, I get it, but
It's gross.
do you
Am
just
I
like
wrong?
do you not like Jennifer Carpenter and other things
So,
where
so,
she's
so,
not related
I
to?
don't like seeing her on screen.
no. So Rebecca, you have to understand that Jim has difficulty understanding like actors are playing a role, and that's not the actual
In
person.
every movie, all she does is cry, scream, and say
No,
the
no,
word
you were
fuck.
talking about her and what do you call him?
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall.
I don't have a problem with Michael C. Hall. I
Being
like Michael
married
C. Hall.
together, but then playing characters which are siblings who also just happened to hook up, or well, she wanted to hook up.
Kind of a double
That's
standard,
one
Jim,
thing.
because you just said you like Michael C. Hall,
I do.
but he was also part of that
He
that
doesn't scream,
brother
cry, and
sister
say
love.
fuck every time he's on screen.
To be fair,
Would
I
that
don't think that she swore so much in The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
no, she didn't.
Yeah, but by the time I saw that, I already
Or in
hated her for Dexter.
quarantine.
Yeah, it's true. Though she was pretty
Again,
useless in quarantine.
she was. She screamed and cried a lot.
She was a serious journalist, Jim. Nothing was going to stop her. Very serious.
Jim,
Yes, Mark.
thoughts?
That's it for me.
Okay. So we'll have Rebecca back on, let's see, like Wednesday maybe, to see how much of her
You
homework she's caught up with.
don't you already have an appointment on Wednesday, Mark?
No,
Oh, that's
no.
Tuesday.
Right, but you're might
So,
be
so for those of you that don't know, Mark will be appearing on another podcast on Tuesday.
yes, I'm cheating on Jim with the murder poster.
Murder Coaster. Murder Coaster. Our friend Matthew Brockmeyer has and Krista Carmen have a podcast called Murder Coaster, and we usually do an episode around Halloween with them, but I might be still at work because they're doing it at like 5 o'clock. Mark doesn't work, so you know he can be free whenever.
Independently wealthy, what can I say?
There
I
you
mean,
go.
Well, I can lie about other things too.
you never even brought me out on your yacht before you sold it, jerk.
A yacht? And what do you mean about a low budget film? What kind of
So whenever I think low budget, I think 30 to 40 million.
Well then, Fly me to Florida. I'll be there in November.
I'll have my assistant Jim work out all the details with you afterwards. So
Ah,
anyway, we'll have Rebecca back, and we will make a list of all
At
the
least she's done her
recommendations.
homework or had a bunch of White Claws.
Right, and
The
then she'll have to give us her in-depth review of each one of the movies that we've suggested.
okay. Homework movies. That's the next episode. Homework
That-
movies.
Homework movies. That's the next episode. But just so you know, Mark will never listen to this again, so he's not going to remember what he gave you for homework. So you may just make up whatever you want.
Got it. Got
I
it.
mean, I mean,
The
he's not
Changeling
wrong. Yes. So that's the movie we should all watch together.
and Twilight.
Oh,
In
Yep.
hell.
and maybe all of the Dexter
All of it.
episodes.
No.
All of it.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. But we are going to get drunk. What did we say we're going to watch? Up in Smoke? What was the movie we were going to watch, Rebecca?
When we are consuming alcohol
Yeah, for that
or
Discord channel.
marijuana. What did I just say? I just said one here.
The
Was it
Relic.
The relic. It was
Relic.
the relic.
Thank you. I forgot. I'll
Yeah,
have to post that in the Discord so I don't forget again.
I won't forget.
Mark, are you going to join the Discord and get drunk with us?
I don't know what that is.
It's an app called Discord.
Jim
think
learned
I'm-
about it in school, where he's also learning about how to work Zoom.
Yes.
Oh,
In my school that starts in 3 days.
Jim, soon you'll learn about like Word and Excel. I
We-
mean,
Oh, Mark, we just learned about IRC.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Rebecca, do you remember AOL Instant Messenger?
Yes,
What about IRC?
that one I don't know. Though when I was in high school, I was on a website called vampirefreaks.com, which was like MySpace, but for alt people.
Says the girl with cat ear headphones.
I'm alt. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, Rebecca, why don't you pop your socials one more time just so everybody knows where to find you?
At Rebecca Attack 16 1A or your resident spooky girl. Or if you look up my name, Rebecca Mickle, you'll find music and
It's down
acting.
Down here.
Is it down here? For me, I'm like here.
Yeah.
If you type in my name, you will actually find like music and acting stuff and track and field records.
Can confirm she does have a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But we will see you next time. So thank you for hanging out, Rebecca. I really appreciate